So if you're having a problem with your shower door where it's sticking, it's hanging up at the bottom down here, it doesn't want to close all the way. If it has a continuous hinge all the way down on both sides, I can show you how to fix it. Now, if this is the first time that you're fixing this, you're in luck, because you can actually take this plastic sleeve out and you can flip it and put it back in, and it's going to buy you some time. 6 months, maybe a year, but eventually you will need to replace that because it's going to split on the other side, which has happened to me, and then you're going to have to buy another sleeve. So the telltale signs that you're having a problem is that when you're going to take a shower, you find that it gets harder and harder and harder to close this door. Eventually, you probably just give up and you kind of leave the door open just a little bit. The carpet gets all wet. You leave a puddle of water. The other thing is that eventually it's going to get so bad that the door is going to get stuck, and it'll be stuck in an open position. And you can force it and push it, but you're going to risk damaging the glass. There's also a plastic sleeve along the bottom of the door. You may be tempted to remove that, but don't, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have metal scraping against glass, and that could be a whole other problem. So the tools you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, at least for my door. Yours might be a little different. The new hinge, if you haven't yet flipped it, and some WD-40. Now, a disclaimer. I'm not a shower door professional, just a regular guy.
You fellas have nothing to worry about. I'm a professional.
I've fixed this before already, so speaking from experience, the door is pretty heavy. So if you have somebody who can give you a hand, I highly recommend using 2 people for this job. I'm gonna do it by myself, but a second set of hands wouldn't hurt you, because if you accidentally clip this door as you're removing it or hit it on something, it's gonna break. Then you're gonna have no shower door problem because you won't have a door. So here's the plan. There's 2 screws here. This one holds the frame of the door in place. This one here actually holds it in here as well. So we're gonna take this screw out. We're gonna take this screw out over here. And then there's one more way down here in the bottom. We're gonna take him out as well. Now I'm gonna start at the bottom since we're already here, and then we'll take the other ones out. Just gonna loosen him and then pull him out. We're not taking both of these out. I just need to get this one out on the top right. This piece here, we don't need to worry about. This. There we go. Over here, these last 2. I'm gonna do the bottom one first. And then the top one. Now the door isn't gonna just dump open right now. This frame is actually holding it, but I'm still gonna steady it with my hand. Okay, now we're ready for the next step. What you're gonna wanna do is lift on the frame here while I'm holding the door, like this. And the entire door will come off. Like so. Now you need to get somebody to give you a hand to carry this into a safe spot where you can lay it flat and we can work on this hinge. So welcome to my garage. What I've done is I've got a table in here, which is nice for me. I've laid some cardboard down and I've laid the glass door on top of that. I wouldn't put it onto like the concrete or tile. I would make sure you have some kind of a padding. It could be a carpet, it could be some towels, whatever you got. Lay something soft underneath it and then lay the door on top. Now I'm not gonna lie, this door weighs about 75 pounds. That's why I stress that if you don't wanna carry 75 pounds through your house, you get somebody to give you a hand with it. So the goal now is that we need to separate this part of the hinge from the actual door. And here's how you do it. So if you roll the hinge where it's down like this, take your screwdriver. There's actually a Phillips head screw in here. And this is actually a fitting that's gonna prevent the hinge on the inside with a plastic hinge for replacement from coming out. So you simply loosen this here and pull out the screw. Okay, there's an insert here that'll come out. This piece will slide right out. So once you have a screwdriver, you can just kind of slide it out like this. And that little piece there is what prevents this door from sliding out. So now you see how we can slide this around? Next step is pretty straightforward. We're just gonna take the hinge and we're gonna slide it out all the way down. So what's left in here now is this plastic hinge I was telling you about. We're going to slide this out as well. So for me, the hinge is stuck. So I'm actually going to put some WD-40 in here, which is going to be great to get this out. Choff. Let me clean off the excess right now while we're here. Once you put that stuff in there, what you're going to do is take a screwdriver and you're just going to push the hinge out. It'll actually push out now. From there, you're basically just going to pull out the old hinge, just like this. So when we talk about the hinge splitting, this is what I mean. This plastic hinge here has just come apart. And it happened on one side, and it actually causes it to sag. And that's what causes the door to sag and start to drag. So what I did on mine originally is I actually flipped it the other way around. So this would have been the top of the door with the split. I pulled it out, and then I flipped it over and I put it on the other side. And again, like I said, it'll work for a little while. It'll solve the issue temporarily, but eventually you will need to replace the hinge altogether. So I did find a replacement hinge on Amazon. It was 40 bucks, rough and tough. About another $10 for shipping for this gigantic tube. And this is a new hinge. Now it's a little bit longer than the previous hinge, which isn't a problem. You could probably buy them in different sizes. Mine is 72, I should have bought a 66. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just trim it to make it fit. And there we go, good as new. Now, I love WD-40. I don't know how you feel about it. Some people don't like it. Whoa! I remember as a kid just absolutely loving the scent of WD-40, about how good it smelled to me. I always joked about it being a cologne, and then I saw something online where it actually looked like there was cologne for WD-40. But anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply some into the sleeve here, and then we're gonna go ahead and slide this in. Now I'm also gonna apply WD-40 to this male part of the hinge as well. And I'm gonna slide the sleeve onto it. We don't need a huge amount, but just enough where we're not doing a dry rub. Okay, we're just gonna start with one end here. And then there we go, just slip it in place. Okay, now that that's on, now we're gonna slide that back onto the door. The other thing that's important to remember is the holes. The holes go towards the inside. This is here is the inside of the door. You don't want to mix those up because you can't put your door on backwards. Okay, there we go. It slides right back on like this. Now we do need the plastic sleeve to slide all the way down, and I'll show you how to do that. It really is just your flathead screwdriver. We're just going to push it back on, all the way flush. Okay? Now we'll put that cap back on that we pulled out earlier. This thing that holds it in place. It's going to thread into there. So we're going to take this, slide it in, take your Phillips head screwdriver, and we're just going to seat it again. And that's it. Now I am going to add some more WD-40 in here. And it's going to work it in like this. Much smoother than before. At this point, the door can be put back on, but I'm going to go ahead and just clean it, some Windex, polish it up and make it look good before I put it back on. But next shot, I'll show you us reinstalling it. You gonna come in here?
Never.
Okay, so here we are. 75-pound glass door. Back into the bathroom. It's freaking heavy. We're gonna remount it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lift here like this. And we're gonna slide it back into this latch right here. With one hand. No pressure. Here we go. Gonna rotate the hinge like this. Okay. Now I'm gonna lift it on the bottom. Oh my God, you're heavy. Let's just slip back on here. Okay, I've done this before, I promise. This piece of the hinge goes around this piece of the frame. There we go. Lift, and we lock that back on top.
5 hours later.
The bottom is not lined up right. There it goes. Now the top. And then this goes down. Okay, now we can put the screws back on. All right, now let's verify that I fixed it. Will it close? Look at that. Beautiful. First shot, look. Yeah. And that is how you fix a hinge on a door. Good luck.